Jesus always spoke to the crowds in the ordinary language of his time. To the shepherds, he addressed giving the example of sheep and green pastures. To the farmers, he gave the example of sowing and reaping. And to the fishermen, he spoke giving the example of fishing. In Ireland, I love watching TV fishing shows where anglers try to strangle and get that big one. That mighty battle would take several minutes to few hours. Once the fish is finally hauled into the boat or dragged into the shore, there is picture taking, weighing of the fish, and letting it go back to the ocean. The gospel today shows a different example and experience. It tells us that we should be the fish that want to be caught and collected. Fishermen during Christ's time, and perhaps until now, examine the fish that they catch. If big enough for the harvest and the market, the fish is put in the bucket. Small fish or diseased ones are let free in the ocean back to the sea. Today's parable is all about what would happen at the end times. Jesus reminds us through the parable that while there is time to seek and practice righteousness, all of us are given the chance and enormous opportunities to be good and be admitted to God's kingdom. It is essential for us as followers of Christ to recognize that God's grace is open to everyone, regardless of their past or current state. We should never feel superior or judgmental towards others, but instead share the gospel with humility and compassion, just as Jesus did during his earthly ministry. Today's parable also teaches us the urgency of our response to God's call. The fishermen did not delay in pulling the net ashore, and similarly, we should not procrastinate in responding to God's invitation to follow him. We should strive to live a life worthy of the gospel, seeking to grow in holiness and virtue, and spreading God's love to others through our words and actions. As we contemplate on this parable, let us reflect on the following questions. How are we responding to God's invitation to be part of his kingdom? Are we actively living our faith and sharing it with others? Are we showing mercy and forgiveness to those who may have strayed from God's path? May the Holy Spirit guide us in our discernment, helping us to be loving and compassionate fishers of souls. Let us embrace God's grace and strive to be among the righteous who will one day rejoice in his eternal kingdom.